All right, so this is going to be another bad movie review. This is going to be on Pixels, directed by Chris Columbus. It's the Adam Sandler movie with arcade game characters and things, just actually being created by some aliens and coming down and attacking Earth. And these arcade game nerds have to fight against it. Uh, I believe this started off as like a short with a bunch of arcade game characters coming down and attacking a city. But here's just another bad Adam Sandler movie. So in this, we have Brenner, played by Adam Sandler. When he was a kid, he really got into playing arcade games. Him and his friend Will. He also has this other kid who's really good at video games. It's called the Wonder Kid. His name is Ledlow. The older version's played by Kevin James and Josh Gad. But he gets really into arcade games and he's really good at it to the point where he joins a tournament. Right? The thing is, he's really good at learning the patterns of arcade games. And that's why he's so good. But he ends up getting second place in this tournament because he ends up losing to Eddie, played by Peter Dinklage in this, also known as the Fire Blaster. He's already kind of made a name for himself on the arcade scene. And so that basically started off his life just not going great. Right? That's where it all started. That's where it all went downhill or started to. And so, you know, time has passed. They're adults now, and he's working at Geek Squad. He's kind of a loser. So in 1982, when they were kids, that tournament that they played, they made video of it and they sent it up. They sent it up into space. Some aliens got a hold of it and they took it as an actual threat. So now they are attacking the Earth with these arcade game characters, and the idea is they're doing these battles, right? And the aliens are send down these arcade game characters, and the humans have to fight against them. Basically, also like kind of playing the arcade games in real life. And if the Earth can win more battles than the aliens, then the aliens will leave the Earth alone. And of course, Brenner and Will and Ludlow, them having the past with arcade games, they get involved, especially because Will is now the president. So he calls them in, the other two. And the idea is that their experience with these arcade games is going to save the day. They're going to come in and save the day in the end. This movie is terrible. I thought it was terrible ever since it first came out, but it's got some good stuff about it. I think acting wise, it's okay. Even though Josh Gad gets on my nerves, but I think he's committing to this terrible character. Um, I think Peter Dinklage is easily the standout here. Right, his character. I mean, he's just like this little asshole, really. I mean, just a blatant asshole. But he plays it really well, and it's like amusing because of the way he's playing it. He's easily the standout here, and even the younger version of him, I thought was really good. Like, okay, I see this as being the same person. The best thing about this is that visually, it does look great. Like the CGI looks amazing. Like these pixelated versions of these arcade game characters, they look fantastic. I don't think any of it looks bad. Like, I mean, it puts CGI that I see today to shame. It looks so good. Like they really put money and effort into this. Like, wow. Like the centipede and the Donkey Kong at the end and things like that. At one point, like a Smurf pops up and they shoot the Smurf at the end. That looks good. It's like, okay, right. And them being in the real world, running around in the street and stuff, even at the end, I was like, okay, like that's believable. Like I can believe that that's there. Pac-Man looks really good in the Pac-Man battle part. I was like, okay, you actually you put time into this. As far as the actual battles, I think the best one was probably the centipede one, and that's when Ludlow and Brenner really like take over because they were training the Navy SEALs to do it, but like, oh, the Navy SEALs, they don't know these arcade games like these nerds, right? So they got to jump in. They got to jump in. Pressing buttons on an arcade game that should not translate to being able to use light cannons because they developed light cannons to be able to actually shoot at these arcade game characters. But whatever, they're getting into it. Adam Sandler, for the most part, is just like sleepwalking through this, but he kind of gets into it when things actually go down, and it's kind of fun, and it does play out the way that I've never played the Centipede game, but I looked it up and I was like, okay, this is about the way it works, the way the game is, and it was fun. I was like, okay, this works. All that being said, though, Wow. So we can start off with Adam Sandler. I just mentioned him. So Adam Sandler, he's mostly just sleepwalking through this, right? I mean, this movie, when it comes to his jokes, is really lazy. He's really lazy in delivering them as well. Like, as far as Adam Sandler, when it comes to his jokes, it mainly is just him calling people names. Like when he's in the Situation Room, there's this younger looking guy, blonde hair and everything. I think he calls him Blue Lagoon, and then later on he calls him Zac Efron. The Eddie character, when he's negotiating, because he's in jail when they go to get him to help them fight against the arcade characters and everything, to help protect the Earth, and he pulls out glasses when he's reading, the agreement for him to get his pardon and everything if he helps. And Adam Sandler calls him the bifocal blaster. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, none of it is funny. None of it is all that amusing. It's just like, it's kind of lame. And some of them are a stretch.
Guys in suits, Zac Efron. Gandalf and Harry Potter in the same room. Imagine that.
Oh my God. The jokes are Adam Sandler calls somebody some names. I think maybe Peter Dinklage does the same thing, his character. But Josh Gad, when it comes to the Ludlow character, he's just weird. Like he's really into conspiracy theories, and that gets set up even when he was a kid. He's really into conspiracy theories and things like that. He's really obsessed with this arcade game character, Lady Lisa. He even as a kid is obsessed with her, and he's like, "Oh, that's my true love," and he wishes that she could be real. And of course, she pops up at the end of this movie, so that's the payoff for that. But we'll definitely get back to that. But he's just weird. Like when they're celebrating after they win a battle, I believe it's the Pac-Man battle. He's singing on stage, and he starts like crawling on the ground while he's singing and things like that. He's just weird. Like when they first address the Navy SEALs, he's yelling at them and stuff when they're training, learning the arcade game characters so they can fight against them. Or these arcade games so they can do them. He's slapping them on the ass and all these other things. I mean, the dude is just weird. And something that they definitely always go back to with his character is that he's constantly fucking screaming. They're doing well. He's screaming. They're doing that. His life is in danger because he's running away from Pac-Man. He's screaming. He's screaming at his grandma when they're at his place. It's just like, God damn, man. I mean, it is so obnoxious.
Oh, what happened? Oh, I remember now. I'm trying to save the world from annihilation. Are you nuts? You cracker!
And this is the Wonder Kid, also known as
Your worst nightmare!
This movie, it lost me pretty much as soon as we got away from them being kids and they were older. Because I'm like, okay, uh, Adam Sandler's character, Brenner, he's a loser, right? I guess, right? Like the idea is that it all went downhill after he lost that arcade tournament, which is ridiculous, man. This middle-aged man, he's caught up on losing an arcade competition when he was a kid. It's ridiculous, but they say it in the dialogue.
I had my shot when I was a kid in the arcades, but I blew it. Yeah, I always think maybe my life would have been different.
The whole thing with him being Geek Squad, he has this shitty job and all that. Eh, It's just like you're best friends with the president of the United States, regardless of whether he's a, a shitty president or he's unpopular. You're best friends with the president of the United States. Like he did win, right? So people had to have voted for him. Millions of people had to have voted for him. So it's like you really couldn't turn that into something, or your best friend, the president, couldn't have got you a job, like pulled some strings. It's like it's really weird. Like that was really weird to me. It's like it's one thing if he was the president, but like they've been estranged ever since they were kids. Like after that tournament, they kind of fell out of touch, and they're reconnecting over the course of this movie. No, they're best friends. Like they're seen publicly out with each other, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense. Kevin James being the president, the reason for that, one, we have these lame ass jokes where he's an unpopular president, where they're like, oh, what about the economy? They're saying generic like criticisms of his presidency. People are heckling him and stuff like that on the street. Also, he's really, I guess, dumb because he has this reading initiative where he's reading to these little girls and he can't even say catastrophe. So even the girls are bashing him. And it's like, okay, America as a whole voted for someone who's who's struggling to read. So it's like, I mean, that makes the whole country look bad. Like at this point, you shouldn't even be heckling him. Like we should just all collectively be like, we're fucked. But I mean, in the real world, we're fucked with the president we got. But it's like, okay, it's not funny. You're not really doing much of anything with it. But whatever. It's there to be funny, right? Because Kevin James has to be a fucking loser and everything, even when he's the fucking president of the United States. But it's also so they have that connection already within the government. So when Galaga comes down and attacks someplace and things like that, all these attacks are happening with arcade game characters, pixelated arcade game characters. They're being attacked by arcade games. He can call them in as his arcade specialist and be like, "Hey, this looks like Galaga, right? Like I'm not going crazy." That's why it's there, but it doesn't make sense, and the movie lost me right from the beginning with all that. So along with the opening, we got to set up this terrible romance in here between Brenner and Violet, played by Michelle Monaghan. She's a colonel, and she's involved in everything. She's you helping them, and everything. She even shows them the light cannons that they developed and everything. But before that, she's just a lady that calls Geek Squad. So Brenner shows up, and he's talking to the little boy, her son, and it's getting real personal. He's telling him about, oh, my mom went through a divorce. The dad left for a Pilates instructor named Cinnamon with an S and stuff like that. It's like, kid, this is a stranger. Why are you giving him so much information? But then Michelle Monaghan, Violet, she walks in and he is just completely taken by her. Right? It's like okay, so you don't ever go to homes with attractive women because like if you act like this with all of them, I don't see how you even still have this job. So he does his job, and he sets up the TV and all this other stuff. And she gets a phone call, and she goes into her closet and starts crying, and she's drinking like wine from a sippy cup. I don't even know why you have a sippy cup that I know of. She only has one kid, that son, and he's definitely too old for a sippy cup. Why do you have that? Why are you drinking out of that? I guess because it's supposed to be funny. It's not. But she's crying and thinking about her divorce and everything that happened with well, her ex-husband and all that. And he goes in there. I mean, it's too much, but whatever. Stranger, you go into her closet and everything. So he starts comforting her, talking about situations that happened with his own wife, that they were trying to have a baby, and she ended up actually having a baby with the doctor that was supposed to be helping them have a baby. It's like, wow. Something tells me that's a lot worse for your life than losing an arcade game when you were a kid, but whatever. An arcade tournament. But they do have kind of a moment, like a little bit of a moment, but still it's way too much because he's smiling from ear to ear. Like he clearly is manipulating the situation so that he can take advantage of this woman. And so he leans in for a kiss and she's like, "Whoa, get back." It's like he's like, "You snob or whatever. What you would have give me a kiss if I was rich and we're on a yacht and stuff like that." It's like, bro, you're a stranger going into her closet. You seem like you're trying to comfort her because you legitimately want to help her, but you're just trying to manipulate the situation so that you could get some. It's like, come on, bro. What are you talking about? I mean, she is saying some snobby things about him. You're 210 pounds and you install TVs or whatever, but like, she's in her right to do so because you went way too far with that. But that's how we're starting the relationship. Is they have this tension between them because he tried to take advantage of her. And so now he's calling her a snob and all this other stuff. And they have this back and forth where he gets called to the White House and she's also going to the White House. And so she's surprised that he's even there. And so they're kind of one upping each other because she gets called to the Situation Room but he actually gets called to the Oval Office. It's like, oh, okay, wow. They're one upping each other. But it's like, okay, that's the way you started that relationship in the worst way you possibly could have. So now for the rest of the movie, whenever they're giving each other eyes, whenever they go to the ball to celebrate their win after the Pac-Man game together and stuff like that. He's telling her how beautiful her eyes are. You've already lost me with it. He's like, I don't feel the chemistry here. I don't get it. Mainly because it started off so bad. So talking about the battles, with the arcade game characters and stuff like that, um, with the real life, arcade games. I said the centipede part was fun and good. The next battle after that is the Pac-Man battle, and that has a lot of issues. First of all, the light cannons, for whatever reason that they created these light guns, they don't work on Pac-Man. He's just going through destroying stuff and things like that. They can't just use the light cannon and shoot it because for whatever reason it won't work. It won't work because they need to conveniently set it up so that it could be more like the actual arcade game. There's no reason if the light cannons work on pretty much all everything else when it comes to these arcade characters. So it's like, I mean, they're just shooting them left and right at the end. So it's like, you're clearly stretching things because the aliens sent down Pac-Man to fight them. They have to be the ghosts. How are they gonna be the ghosts? They just have these cars, different colored cars, and they use the cube or whatever they did to make the light cannons or whatever to create generators on the cars to make them be able to affect Pac-Man by running into him. It's like, wow, this is a fucking stretch. Like this is a hell of a stretch. You just took some cars and was like, okay, well they're the ghosts because they're different colors and I don't know, they can affect Pac-Man because we put something in them. Like, okay, all right, whatever. So at this point they have Eddie on the team. So they have Ludlow, Brenner, they have Eddie now, and now they have to because they have four cars. They have the creator of Pac-Man there. Now, the problem with that is that this is not the actual creator of Pac-Man playing this character. This is an actor, right? But the creator of Pac-Man is in the movie. He's in a cameo in the beginning when they were kids in the arcade, and he's fixing a machine. I can't remember. It must have been a Pac-Man machine. So you have him in the movie, but you don't have him playing himself. That's fucking weird. Right? It's weird. Him going up to the Pac-Man and be like, "Oh, my creation, my son, he's my son," and then getting bit by it and his hand getting pixelated or whatever. That's kind of amusing, but it is kind of it's just weird to me. It's like, so when you wrote this, you plan to have the actual Pac-Man creator actually play that out, but he didn't want to or couldn't for some reason. And so you're like, okay, we'll just settle for a cameo because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because that's really weird that you have him in the movie, but you don't have him playing himself in the movie. That's odd. But man, there are so many problems with this Pac-Man's shit. Uh, so they're the ghosts and they're chasing after Pac-Man. They have to hit him 3 times. There are no like little balls or whatever for Pac-Man to collect and have the aliens win that way. So it's just they have to hit Pac-Man 3 times and try not to wipe out and things like that. But even though they don't have the dots or whatever for Pac-Man to eat, they do have one like special one which in the arcade game, if you eat that, the ghosts turn blue and Pac-Man can actually eat the ghosts. They conveniently have one of those in this for Pac-Man to eat and then turn these cars blue so that he can then eat them. It's like these are cars they made and changed around. Like, how are you able to control that? It's just like it's ridiculous. But that is not the worst part of it. So over the course of this battle, Peter Dinklage's character, Eddie, the fire blaster, he keeps getting to places way quicker than he should be. And people are like, "Oh, what's going on?" Turns out he's using cheat codes. He's using cheat codes in an actual car. Like, how is he putting the cheat codes in? It's like, what is going on? Like, that is so dumb. Like what cheat codes are even is he even using? Because like the aliens are using Pac-Man, who is the player character. You think cheat codes, if cheat codes are used to make a character in an arcade game faster, you would think that those cheat codes would work for Pac-Man, the actual player, not the ghost. It's like that's ridiculous. Not only is he somehow using cheat codes to end up doing well during this segment, but he used cheat codes back in the day. That's how he actually beat Brenner in that tournament. Everybody was watching them during this tournament with them going head to head in the Donkey Kong game. Nobody noticed that he was using cheat codes. What cheat codes was he using? That everybody's watching their screens and nobody's noticing anything. It's just like, come on, dude. So after that, the aliens, they were able to find out that they cheated. And so they give them a message to them using Hollow Notes because they use these old TV shows and things, interviews and things, Madonna and Fantasy Island, uh, to give them to actually communicate um, with Earth, to let them know what's going to happen, where the next battle is going to be, things like that. And because they found out they cheated, they're like, okay, well, now we're just going to destroy the Earth now because you cheated. It's like, okay, these aliens, they don't show the aliens, they don't really develop them because they know this doesn't make sense. The whole thing with the aliens seeing video of them playing arcade games and taking that as a threat, that's already a stretch. That's already stupid. But they need to have some kind of reason. But why don't the aliens just attack us, right? I mean, why even do these battles in the first place? The first two battles that they won, they just attacked. Like humanity didn't even know what was going on, didn't participate at all. And it was just like, so you're not really keeping with that whole battle framework anyway. But now they're sending a bunch of arcade game characters down. It's like, why are they even doing that? Like, I get because it's because of what this movie is. That's the whole theme. But like, you're not making it make sense what the aliens are doing and why they're sending alien characters down here. If they're just like, we're just gonna destroy the Earth, like why even use pixelated arcade game characters? Why not just destroy the Earth with whatever other technology that you might have? Whatever. So uh they have to fight against these arcade game characters as they're like attacking the city. And they don't have their light guns and things like that at first, but then Will, Kevin James' character, the president, shows up because he snuck away. So he has the light cannons, light guns, and they gives it to them. Like I said, they're just shooting them, and it's working. Right? Didn't work for Pac-Man for whatever reason, but convenient reasons, but it's working for everybody else. They're just shooting them all, just basically. And the aliens, as if they didn't already make no sense. Now they're saying, "Oh, if you come up," because they also took Michelle Monaghan, Violet's son. They're like, "Oh, if you come up and we do one more game and you win, then we'll leave you alone. We'll give the sun back and all that." It's like, I thought you were gonna just destroy the planet. Like, this feels like the aliens are just trying to have fun. It doesn't feel like they see the Earth as a threat and they're actually just trying to take out the Earth before the Earth takes them out. No, it feels like they just saw the games, thought they were fun, created them themselves, and then decided they wanted to challenge the Earth to these games in real life. That's the way it comes off. That makes that for an explanation makes way more sense. But they go up there to do a Donkey Kong game, and that's how they end up winning. They end up winning the game. Obviously, Brenner's whole thing is like, "Oh, Donkey Kong is my game, the game that I lost to Eddie with like all those years ago that started this downward spiral in my life." And the son who finds out that Peter Dinklage's character, that Eddie cheated, is like, "Oh no, but he cheated all those years ago. So actually, you are the Donkey Kong champion." It's like, whatever. So then he starts doing well, and they're doing a bunch of stuff. They're doing flips and things like that. That is like, when were they able to do those things? Michelle Monaghan's like jumping around and stuff, and the son is like, "Wow, mom." Also, while this is happening, Josh Gad is down there, and he's the one that's still um, fighting all these arcade game characters while they're up there doing the Donkey Kong game. And who pops up but Lady Lisa? And conveniently, she's the only one that's not pixelated. She looks like a real woman. So she's attacking him, and he starts saying, "Oh, I love you. You're my true love," and all this other stuff. And she just stops attacking him, and they just start kissing right there. It's like, okay, she hasn't spoken. Does she have any real agency? What is she thinking about this situation? Right? Like, she was created to like just attack humanity and things like that. And this guy is like, "Oh, I love you," and then does she even have the capacity to know what love is? It's like, it's so fucking forced. It's so ridiculous. But because they win, all those arcade game characters that were attacking, they disappear, and the aliens leave or whatever. Other than the trophies, so of course, over the course of the movie, whenever they win a battle, Centipede and Pac-Man and stuff, they get um, a trophy. So the the trophy, one of them was Duck Hunt and it was with this old lady. One of them was Cubert, and Cubert's been with them since then. So because Lady Lisa disappeared and Josh Gad, Ludlow still has to end up with her, for whatever reason, Cubert turns into Lady Lisa. And then they start kissing right after that. It's like, this is fucking weird. And Adam Sandler's the only one who points it out. It's like, this is weird. How does Cubert do this? What is going what is going on? Is Cubert like making the decision to do that? Did the aliens make Cubert turn into Lady Lisa? Like, what is going on?
But no one else is weirded out by this? That was just Cubert.
Then after that, they make it even more weird because at the very, very end of the movie, they've gotten married and their babies, you see them in a crib, there's a bunch of Cuberts. It's like, so Cubert's still in there. He's in the sunken place or some shit. Like Josh Gad, Ludlow in this, he's raping Cubert. It's fucking weird. It's crazy. It's like, who came up with this? Some fucking freak. It's like, it's gonna haunt my nightmares. Josh Gad is raping Cubert. Does Cubert have any say in this? Like, why immediately when he turned into her, did they start kissing? It's like, it, what is going on? Like, the more I think of it, the more disturbing it gets. But that's when we get the ending. Obviously, Brenner and Violet end up together. Who cares? But also we have Eddie's character, which part of the whole deal of him saving the Earth was that he wanted to have a date with Martha Stewart, Martha Stewart and Serena Williams, and he did get a date with Serena Williams, but she blew him off. But now that he's won, now that they've won and he helped save the world, in the Lincoln bedroom, just like he asked, Martha Stewart and Serena Williams. They're just waiting for him, I guess, to have like a wild fucking threesome or whatever. It's like, okay, so the women are literal trophies in this. Like, you went that far. It's like it's ridiculous. You went that far that you actually did legitimately make women trophies in this. This is a bad movie, really bad movie. I'm gonna give it trash because, like I said, there's some good stuff. I could see people actually liking this on like a superficial level just because of the video game stuff, but yeah, it's still really bad. But whatever. That is Pixels. Giving it trash. And that's it. Subscribe. We're done.